Hello and welcome back to FTV Game Night. I'm Steven Dixon along with Pearson Fowler.
In the late summer months of 2013, 3 students with nothing more than a vision and a couple of borrowed cameras took the initiative to create a show for a previously showless university TV channel. In a matter of weeks, that idea became a reality, and before they knew it hit them, it was a global sensation.
And I'm joined by Chris Adele, who's joining us from Sochi, where he's been covering the Olympics. Chris, how you doing?
Great. Pearson, how are you doing?
I'm here with head coach of the SC United Bantams, David Kinga. The Bantams just finishing off their first win of the season, 2-0 victory over the Carolina Dynamo. Coach, the first half, even though you did get your goal that would eventually win the game, you were sort of on your heels for a lot of it. The Dynamo were creating a lot of chances and you were sort of relying on counterattacks, but the second half, the tables were sort of turned and you were creating opportunity after opportunity. What changed?
Yeah, I think with the guys we have right now, we got to remember that we had 3 weeks in and some guys still trying to get match fitness, and I think just the changes that we made in the second half brought some fresh legs, kind of adapted for us tactically, and kind of changed the game for us attacking wise. We had a lot of chances, and but it's something we're going to be working on all season. We're going to build on this win, and as we go to West Virginia, try to get some points on the board.
The Dynamo going a man down midway through the second half certainly didn't hurt things. Just talk about for a second, no disrespect to keepers Barrett Nielsen or Marco Velez, but what's it like to have a guy like Robert Beebe in the goal that you can rely on and who can over and over again make spectacular saves like he did tonight?
Yeah, Beebe is a great leader. He's played at every level in college and professionally, and now coming back to play with us. The guys respect him, and he's one of our most vocal players, and he commands the 18, and not only just vocally, but the way he plays. You guys saw the kind of saves he made today were really top class, and carried us through the game to keep a clean sheet. So he's a big asset for us.
As I mentioned, first win of the season, but after a tough first game against the Charlotte Eagles where you lost 5-0, you had a bit of a deficit in the goal differential. How important was it to get that second goal tonight and then also to maintain the clean sheet?
Yeah, it was really good. I think, and like after the Charlotte Eagles game, I told the guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we're gonna start building on it. We only had trained for about 2 weeks before the first game. So I think as guys get comfortable and know how each of their teammates play, we're gonna get some confidence, and these are the results like you saw tonight. So, exactly.
And your results have gotten progressively better, 4 out of a possible 6 points from your first 2 home games. How do you carry that momentum into this 4-game road trip?
I think just confidence-wise, it's elevated us, and believe that we can actually play. We got guys who can really do some big things this year. So I think sky's the limit for these guys, and I'm excited to be part of this great opportunity to try to make history in South Carolina.
Coach David Kinga, thanks again and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome into Game Night on the Paladin Network. I'm your host, Pearson Fowler, and with me today are Campbell Smith and Chris Adele. We'll get to them in just a minute. Super Bowl 49 is now in the books, maybe one of the most exciting Super Bowls we've ever seen.
Russell Wilson obviously going to beat himself up about that. Pete Carroll's going to feel bad about that play call, and rightly so. Marshawn Lynch should have gotten the ball, even though he'd only scored once out of the 5 times he was 1 yard away from the end zone earlier.
We're going to go back to that statistic because I like that. You would have gotten points if this was around the horn. One of the other more telling statistics that sort of justified that play call, of all of the passing plays that were called from the 1 yard line through the entire 2014-2015 NFL season, there were 0 interceptions thrown. But of all the running plays from the 1 yard line in the entire NFL season, just this past season, there were 2 fumbles. And even if you look back over the last 5 years, the odds that you're going to fumble on a carry from the 1 yard line is about 1.9%, and the odds that you're going to throw a pick are about 1.5%. Again, looking at all the attempts over the last 5 years. So people act like it was a significantly riskier decision, but when you look at the numbers, which I'm sure Pete Carroll didn't have in front of his face at the time, but again, retrospectively, you look at those numbers and it doesn't seem like such a crazy call after all.
Hello and welcome to Stone Soccer Stadium on the campus of Furman University. This is the Paladin Network's Furman Soccer post-game show. It's our first one ever. The Furman Paladins won a very exciting soccer match tonight at the foot of Lewis Hawk with a golden goal in extra time. kind of in the corner. What a great goal.
Yeah, unbelievable goal and great way to finish the game. It was a game full of great opportunities, high intensity, a lot of physicality, a lot of opportunities for both sides, and really a fitting storybook ending to the game. This is the first game that Furman's played this year in the Gray Griffin Memorial Tournament. Gray Griffin, a former member of the Paladin soccer team who passed away in 2002, had his jersey retired tonight before the game in a wonderful ceremony, and his jersey being displayed over there near the entrance to the stadium after Lewis Hawk, the entire team and student section charged over there to the commemorative Gray Griffin jersey. It was a wonderful storybook ending, thrilling game all around. It was just fantastic, Stephen.
What stood out to me throughout the entire game, obviously the Lewis Hawk goal at the end and the fans and the emotion that poured into that goal was tremendous. But the intensity throughout the entire match, there were so many fouls, so many free kicks, opportunities just abundant. And it took a while for any team to just take advantage. And then, North Florida tied it up at one of the craziest goals I've ever seen off the foot of Chris Oldad of North Florida. And then we had that exciting goal at the end. Just a crazy game with crazy pace, intensity, because it was kind of rough at times. I was impressed with both teams.
No, absolutely. And definitely the themes for tonight were physicality, intensity, and missed opportunities. Both teams did a great job of creating in the first half and the second half, and they couldn't put any opportunities away. It was 1-1. It was a surprise it wasn't more like 4-4, but in the end, the Paladins did enough to win the game. Stephen, after the game tonight, who's your nominee for player of the game?
Well, early on I thought it was Finn Lessick, but you got to give it to Lewis Hawk just because he was so involved with the attack late in the game. You just had a feeling like this guy, he's going to connect on a shot. He's going to score the goal. And did he score the goal at the end with like 3 minutes left to play in extra time, at least the first period of extra time? Got the golden goal. He's my obvious choice for player of the game.
Yeah, that's a great pick, obviously, the late goal, and created so many opportunities and really wreaked havoc down the flank late in the game. But I am going to go with Sven Lessick. He played an excellent game. Didn't necessarily have a lot of saves, but the saves that he did have were important. He did an excellent job organizing that back four, and despite North Florida creating a lot of opportunities, particularly on the counterattack, Sven Lessick kept that defense solid, made a couple of timely saves, and he's my player of the game for keeping Furman in it for as long as he did.
And I think one way he stood out to me, like you said, he not just the impressive saves that he made, because he did make those. Even when he had the ball, he put the ball right downfield where you needed it. Like, he created a lot of opportunities for the offense, even as a goalkeeper. I think that's a very valuable, weapon to have when your goalkeeper has the ability to put the ball where it needs to be once he clears it. So I thought that was just impressive, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent leader of the defense back there.
Yep. Well, that's all from tonight. The Paladins play next Sunday at 3:30 here at Stone Soccer Stadium. For Paladin Network's Furman Soccer postgame recap, I'm Steven Dixon. He's Pearson Fowler. Good night, everybody. We don't have a lot of takes to do this. We have to, put up everything, take everything down, and shoot the show, all within maybe like a 45-minute time window. So I think that has really helped me a lot, develop into, more of a professional broadcaster, because we can't sit there and be perfectionists, but we have to also overcome a lot of adversity, and work as a team. And I think that's really helped not only me, but everyone that's involved with the, production. Pearson, let's get to the story about Jeffrey Kessler, the lawyer that's been associated with the NFLPA, a lot of players' associations and unions, filing a lawsuit against the Power Conferences, kind of representing a college union. He says that, quote, "The one thing people should recognize is how fundamentally unfair it is to look at an NCAA tournament where the coach is making $5 million, the school is generating hundreds of millions, sponsors are cashing in, administrators are cashing in, and the only group that is not receiving any benefit are these athletes, most of who will not graduate and most of who will never be a professional athlete. This is their one opportunity to be recognized and compensated." Pearson, do you agree with this statement? Do you agree with this lawsuit?
Well, absolutely not. And a lot of what this does, in my opinion, is it sort of undervalues education. I mean, that's what the scholarship does. You're going there to play football, but you're getting a free education, which is what college needs to be about at its base. If you start paying players, if this becomes a living for athletes that aren't necessarily going to get paid at the next level, you're really undervaluing education. And as much as we see a problem, we've seen scams with grades, Julius Peppers, people
That's
like
why
that
I brought him
at
up.
North Carolina. Exactly, players getting, I guess we call it academic benefits, tutors, teachers, giving them the grades they need so that they can pass, so that they can play football. The education standard among college athletic already seems to be a little bit low, and this would just serve no purpose other than to continue to undermine that, which is exactly the opposite of what I think we need. Only 22 major colleges, universities actually netted a profit in the 2012 season. As much money as
they spend it all on their athletic department.
Exactly. One of the points that Kessler made is that football particularly is this and just college athletics in general, is this multi-billion-dollar industry, but so much money goes into that industry, to upkeeping it, to facilities, to recruiting, and it goes to so many different sports. There were only 22 out of 120 major college football programs in 2012 that actually netted a profit in that year. That's astounding, and just goes to show that only those 22 schools would reasonably have the means to pay students